Today I'm going to cover the 5 stages of financial freedom that actually matter. And they matter because at each stage, you unlock new possibilities. Financial freedom is not all or nothing, and when you understand this, it can radically change your life. It gives you permission to live life on your own terms. Let me show you what I mean. Most people in the financial independence space will reinforce this myth that it's all or nothing. That you either have it or you don't. But despite what people will tell you, you unlock new possibilities for how you can live your life at each stage in the journey. As you progress towards financial freedom, you unlock new ways that you can live and design your life. And I think as I go through these stages, the options and the possibilities available pretty early on in the journey will surprise you. And that's why today I'm going to share not just the 5 stages of financial freedom, but the lifestyle options available at each one. These are the possible ways to design your life along the journey. So as we go through all the stages, I think you'll notice that there's a common theme for all the stages. They all share something in common. And I'll talk more about this at the end of the video. But if you figure it out and you think you have an idea of what that common theme is, drop it in the comments below. Let me know what you think is the common thread. Now let's get into it. Now the first stage of financial freedom that actually matters is debt freedom. People define debt freedom in a number of different ways. I define debt freedom as having no debt besides a mortgage. And debt could include a number of things, like student loans, medical debt, consumer debt or credit cards, among a number of other things. The great thing about being debt-free is that it drastically reduces your expenses. When you don't have to set money aside to pay down debt, your monthly expenses are lower. And when that happens, you can either save more money for the future, or you don't have to earn as much. Your income can come down a little bit. And because of this, new lifestyle options become available. Sure, you can continue to direct as much money as possible towards savings and future retirement, or you can use that freedom to find a job you truly enjoy. And if you enjoy your job, you can use that flexibility to negotiate with your current employer. Or perhaps you can even quit a side hustle. We talk so much about saving and earning as much money as possible that sometimes we don't prioritize our own happiness. It's okay to prioritize your own time and happiness and quit your side hustle if it were something you were doing just to get out of debt. If you have achieved debt freedom, think about how this impacts you and how you might live your life a little bit differently. The next stage on the path to financial freedom is FU money. This is the idea of having sufficient savings to cover your living expenses for a period of time that allows you to get out of a bad situation. That bad situation could be a toxic job, a relationship, or even a living situation. Most people understand that having an emergency fund or savings set aside for unexpected emergencies is a good practice. The rule of thumb is often 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So then FU money is something in addition to that allows you a longer runway and more confidence to leave a bad situation. FU money gives you that peace of mind to take back control. And with a stronger financial position, you have even more options available to you at this stage. So as this chart illustrates, the options available to you at the debt freedom stage are also available to you at this stage. So you could find another job that you would truly enjoy or negotiate with your current employer, but you have even more options at this stage. That includes a mini retirement or a career break. You could pursue entrepreneurship or self-employment, or you could even decide that you want to travel full-time and become a nomadic traveler. As a quick side note, we did release a video on FU money and the 4 surprising uses of it. I'll include a link somewhere up here that you can click on and watch that next. Despite what people tell you, FU money doesn't have to be used to quit a toxic job. There are other uses to actually improve your current working environment, and we go into greater detail in that video. The next stage is Coast Financial Independence, or Coast-Fi for short. Coast-Fi is the point where retirement savings becomes optional. It's the point where you have enough money saved that even if you don't contribute another dollar, it will grow and compound to cover your living expenses in traditional retirement. So, just like I mentioned earlier, when you reach debt freedom, you receive more flexibility because you no longer have to reserve a certain amount towards debt. Coast-Fi is the same way in that you no longer need to contribute towards retirement. So that money that you were contributing to retirement, you now have the option, you don't have to change this, but you have the option to reallocate that. So it could mean that you're increasing your spending in various ways for things that you truly enjoy, or you could also look at it from the income side. You no longer need to earn as much income. If you were saving 25% of your income towards retirement and you no longer need to contribute that, what would your life look like if you only needed to earn 75% of what you're currently earning? Two potential options for reducing your income and designing your life at the Coast-Fi stage are: first, working part-time. You could choose to reduce your hours and have more flexibility in your life. Another option would be to consider seasonal work. So instead of simply reducing your hours each week and working throughout the full year, considering working for parts of the year and enjoying long seasons work-free. There are a lot of options. It could mean reducing your hours, it could mean finding a new job, but the point is that Coast-Fi gives you lots of options. Understanding that we had reached Coast-Fi was one of the things that empowered Jess to work part-time several years ago. We were working towards financial independence and saving a large percentage of our income. But we learned that we had reached Coast-Fi, and instantaneously it took a lot of pressure off of us saving as much as possible. And ironically, when she did go back to work part-time, we realized that we were spending about $17,000 on escape and convenience that we no longer needed to spend because she had so much more energy and time. I continued working for a few years after we reached Coast Financial Independence, but I had the option of scaling back. I continued working because I enjoyed the work, and when that changed, I stepped away from my job. I took a career break in 2023 before ultimately pursuing entrepreneurship. The point of Coast-Fi is not that it forces you to take a step back from saving or earning as much as possible, but it gives you the option to do so. It gives you that flexibility and takes all of that pressure away. The next stage is semi-retirement. Similar to the other stages, this can be defined in a number of ways. We define semi-retirement as a period where you only need to cover part of your living expenses with active income. This means you're starting to withdraw a small percentage to supplement your active income, but not to the point where you're living solely off your investments or your portfolio. The active income that you earn during this stage allows your investments to grow to then provide you with a comfortable retirement at a future date. At this stage, you have all of the options previously available to you and even more flexibility. You can scale back work to be only things that you truly enjoy. You have the power and the flexibility to say, I don't enjoy doing that, and I only want to do X, Y, and Z. The last stage is financial independence. This is the point where work becomes optional, that your investment income can cover your living expenses for the rest of your life. At this stage, you have all the options previously available to you, and you can quit your job, retire, and never work another day in your life. And what I want to emphasize here is this is the only lifestyle option in this chart that is available to you once you reach financial independence. Everything else is available to you well before you reach financial independence. So if you're sitting there thinking to yourself,
but I'm so far away from financial independence, how could I possibly optimize my life or pursue happiness instead of saving as much as possible?
You have to understand that you have all of these options available to you well before you reach financial independence. And this gets us to the common thread for all of these stages. So have you figured it out yet? Have you figured out what the common thread for all of these stages is? If so, pause the video and drop it in the comments below. Whether you're typing with your thumbs or your fingers, type it out and let me know what you think is the common thread. Okay, so now that I've paused for a second, let's get into what I see as the common thread. At each stage, there are more options available to you. The possibilities for how you live your life increase as you build wealth. And the freedom that you gain by building wealth is tangible and incremental. And again, you gain options as you advance towards financial independence. It's incremental, it's not all or nothing. I guess the moral of the story is that you should start to leverage the freedom that you've already gained. Start figuring out what matters most to you and do that today, not in some distant future. And none of this matters if you don't leverage the financial freedom that you already have gained. Sometimes it's way too easy to get stuck analyzing the possibilities and failing to take one step forward. That's why we created this video that helps you get unstuck and start taking action. It'll get you that much closer to your ideal life and leveraging the financial freedom that you've already gained. So check it out if you haven't already. As always, thanks for watching and enjoy the journey.